Howdy everyone, Pete Daddy here. Today I wanted to share with you my favorite formation in FIFA 21, let you know what I think are the best custom tactics, the best instructions, the ones that I think will help you get more wins in Weekend League, climb the ranks of division rivals. It's what I use to hit Elite in Weekend League and to play in Division 1 of rivals. It's also what I use even when I'm playing for player objectives and I'm using a 77 rated squad and managerial masterpiece. So they're just real universal, they work really well. So before we begin though, if you are new here, please make sure to subscribe down below. I'd really appreciate it. So let's just reveal what I think is the best formation. And I'd say all of these are worthy of the Whopper button. Let's get a Whopper button for our formation and tactics.
Tell the crew to push the Whopper button.
Whopper button deserved indeed. So what I have it under here, it's under attacking. You can put it under any of these. Just remember where you have it, but it's the 4-4-2 second variation. And for defensive style, I've got it on balanced. Before one of our recent patches, I was playing on pressure on heavy touch, but it did seem to hurt the stamina a little bit, so I have moved it back to balanced. I don't think there's anything wrong with pressure on heavy touch, but I'll talk to you in a little bit about changing the tactics throughout the game for different situations. But I do start the game in balanced. I have it on 5 width and on 6 depth. So it is a little bit higher depth, but I think that is very important this year. Now, if you are someone who's playing on a lower depth and then you go and switch to that, it's going to be a bit of a shock to the system. But honestly, I think it will help you make you a better FIFA player overall to learn to play this way. It's going to make the game a little bit easier for you when you learn, because then when your opponent is passing out of the back, you're able to get pressure on them immediately. You're not just letting them build up and build up and build up and just keep coming at you and coming at you. So I think it's really important to learn how to play at a higher depth. You certainly could lower it maybe to 4, but I don't know that I would go much lower than that. If you just kind of allow the opponent to come at you, it's just not going to work well. Now, I know we see a lot of people that even will play drop back in like 1 or 2, and it can be hard to break down, but once you get into those higher divisions or those higher ranks, or you're playing higher elo on Weekend League, it's just not going to work. These opponents are going to be able to break you down, and maybe you'll sneak out a win that you really don't deserve here and there, but learning to play this way is going to get you more consistent results. So I really recommend getting used to playing on 6 depth. And it also makes the game more fun because you're just like more involved. You're not just sitting there allowing people to build up their attack in the midfield or in the final third. You're actually putting some pressure on them, and it leads to so many easy goals. And that's one of the keys this year to FIFA 21, getting some of those easy goals so that you can beat these people that are sitting back. You know, if you get on them early, generally the people that play that drop back do not play well in any other style. So once you kind of get out in front of them, it's usually easy to put them away. So just kind of keep that in mind. Offensive style, I'm going with balanced, and width, I'm going with 5. Players in the box, I'm going with 5, although I've experimented some with 6 or 7, and I'll show you when I do turn that up a little bit. But starting off, I leave that on 5, just kind of on the balanced width and balanced players in the box. That seems to be sufficient enough to get your people in attack and keep significant width. And now, one of the reasons of the 4-4-2 why I like it is for the width, for the wingers. So you've got 2 strikers, 2 CMs, and then your LM and your RM. So that LM and RM, it's very crucial for them to be involved out wide. So sometimes when you've got somebody, and this comes up a lot when you're playing someone maybe in a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, or they're playing a narrow width, being able to get those runs up the wing or even just passing to them in the final third opens up so much space, because sometimes your opponent is so compact. So if I pass out to one of my wingers, then that kind of moves one of their fullbacks out a little bit, and then that opens up some more space in the middle when I pass it back. Or maybe I can have my RM or LM make like a late breaking run into the box. So you want some width, but you know, there are times that you may want to up it or lower it, but generally I stay in 5 width most of the time. I will tinker with this if I'm trying to make a comeback. I may want more players crashing into the box, but overall 5 seems to work well. Corners and free kicks, I just have both of those on 1. It doesn't really seem to impact whether I score them or not. You know, you're basically, I mean, I feel this year direct corners can work for you. I keep messing up my tactics here, but You don't want to be countered on a corner. That's the main thing. You don't want to be countered on a free kick, and you can still call plenty enough people over for a free kick. Generally, when I'm doing a free kick, I'm either trying to go directly on goal, or I'm doing one of those run-ups, or just laying the ball off. So whether I have this on 1 or 5, it's really not going to matter, but it will matter for being countered. So you just don't want to be countered. You don't ever want to concede easy goals, and that's one of the things to think about defensively. You don't want to concede easy goals. So even though, I'll say this again, let's go back a little bit on this, talk about defense. Even though we've got this on 6 depth, you still need to be smart with your defending. Yeah, you want to play pressure, but you want to play smart pressure. You don't want to just take your center back and run him out at the ball, because then that just leaves so much other stuff exposed. You want to make sure you're controlling the right players. Get used to your right stick switching a little bit more. Be aware of who you're controlling, your positioning. So that's another reason why so many people will play these defensive formations, because they do a poor job of keeping their team in shape. So just think of that as well. Through balls are OP this year, but you can help that a lot by keeping your team in good shape and good position. So just be aware, if you're controlling your center back, maybe you don't want to just run out and try to take the ball. Maybe you're just drifting back with your center back, waiting for reinforcements. You just turn the ball over. You've got a high line. If you don't have that quick, easy, I'm going to get up there and pressure the ball, then maybe just kind of absorb that a little bit till you get the reinforcements, then kind of go with that pressure. So just always be aware of that, and always just kind of that mentality. I don't want to give up an easy goal. So again, we talked about formations, and now I want to talk a little bit about the players to look for. Now, the one thing with the 4-4-2, and I've played a lot of 4-2-3-1 in the past, even played a lot of 4-2-2-2, but with the 4-4-2, I feel like I need pace everywhere. So one thing with the 4-2-3-1, I always felt like my central cam could maybe have like 80 to 90 pace. And, I could still get by. Someone like Antoine Griezmann's maybe a good example, a good player, but not like the pacey. He's quick, but not like quick. He's not like Adama Traore making runs. And I always felt I could get away with that in a 4-2-3-1, maybe not have as much pace as my central cam. But with this formation, I feel like you need 90 plus pace at as many places as possible. So like Neymar and Mbappe, and it's also this year, one other reason I should say this year, especially because through balls are very important. Getting that quick goal, we're playing this high defensive line, so you want to have that high defensive line, you want to win the ball back, then you want to send that through ball in, get that quick, easy goal that makes it so much easier. If you can get 1 or 2 easy goals a match, it's just going to change your results dramatically. So just kind of keep that in mind. Well, I'm looking for pace everywhere. So if I see a new card release that's at like 80 pace and I like everything else, it's just not going to be enough, because even with a Hunter, he's going to go to like 90 pace. Now that may work for some people's play styles, but the way I play this, I am looking for pace everywhere. So my Neymar has a Hunter on him. I believe that takes him to 99 acceleration and 99 sprint speed, so that helps with Neymar and Mbappe. Son, I've got some pace boost. Now this new boosted Lucas Moura, and I'll say a little bit about him for anyone. I think he's still available for another day or so. I did really like him. He's a little pricey, but I think he's a really strong winger. He'll be in my team probably until team of the year, so I felt like it was worth it. Plus, I just like having the Spurs players in my team, so I don't have any problem having Lucas Moura. So pace and movement is really important, so just keep that in mind. I don't really feel there's a spot you can get away with less pace in this formation. So that's one main difference between this and the way I feel like I play a 4-2-3-1. Now let's get to our instructions. I have Neymar and Mbappe exactly the same. Stay central, because, I'm going to get my width from the wingers. So I want my strikers to just make those runs just like straight down, just attack the goal. I don't want them drifting out wide, because I've already got my wingers. I've got Lucas Moura and Heung-min Son on the wing. They're the ones that are going to give me that width. So Neymar and Mbappe, I want them to stay central. I have them on get in behind, and I have them both on stay forward. Now, one thing that I've seen people struggle with is linking up CDMs to strikers in this formation, because there is a good bit of a gap between your CDM and your striker. So I think this formation works really well for people that are good at passing, and I feel like that's one of the strengths of my game is passing. I'm not much of a skill move player. I'll do some here and there, but I don't consider myself a skiller by any means, but I've always been good at passing. So if you're not a good passer, you may may have more success in just a regular 4-4-2 because that's going to bring your CDMs up to CMs, and it will definitely help your attack, but it may leave you a little bit more exposed defensively. But I will say I've seen some people talk about and maybe have problems linking this attack from your CDM to your striker because your CDM may be, just outside of your box, and then you're trying to break out an attack. So sometimes I've seen people have some problems with that. If you're having any trouble with that, then maybe the 4-4-2, the regular version with CMs instead of CDMs may work better for you. But this works amazingly well. Both Neymar and Mbappe are staying up. They're on getting behind. They're always going to cause problems. So, and I prefer, just another thing, I like having my right-footed player. Let me make sure I'm going the right way here because I filmed backwards, it seems like. So I want Mbappe, my right-footed player, making runs up the right side so they can do that shot across goal, or they can do the near post if they need to. And a lot of people are moving keepers now, so be aware of that. And Neymar, he's 5-star weak foot, so he can go anyway. So if he's making a run up the left side of goal, then he can shoot that ball across his body with his 5-star weak foot and works out perfectly. And same thing with my wingers. I want Lucas Moura, who is right-footed, on the right side, and Heung-min Son, 5-star weak foot. Yeah, and if I had a left-footed player, I'd have him on the left. So I want my right-footed player on the right and a left-footed player on the left, or a 5-star weak foot player. And you can see here for Lucas Moura and Heung-min Son, defensive support, come back on defense, but also support runs getting behind. So I want them coming back, but then when we get the ball back, I want them looking to break. And that's another thing that can be a problem when you're linking up play from your CDMs up into your attack. Sometimes these guys can make runs a little bit further up, so you really need to kind of keep an eye on your radar, see where your guys are. And one other thing I'll point out, it doesn't seem like they come back on defense as much as they did in previous FIFAs. I mean, they're still there. They can still support the attack, but it's still easy enough. Say if Renato Sanchez wins the ball back, he can pass it out to Lucas Moura, who then can either make a run up the wing or can pass it out to one of my strikers. The other thing to do, utilize your fullback. So if you're getting the ball, excuse me, if you're getting the ball in midfield, kind of near your own goal, pass it, use your fullbacks, utilize them. I'll go ahead and show you here. My fullbacks, I've got them the whole back line on stay back while attacking. But that doesn't mean don't use them at all. Definitely get your fullbacks involved a little bit. So if Renato Sanchez has the ball, I can pass it out wide to Kyle Walker, who then, where Lucas Moura is on getting behind, he's starting to make that run up. Or I also do the same thing, trigger the runs. You always want to be running. You want to make your opponent under pressure. You want them to be feeling that, getting their defense unlocked. So if I win the ball back, I'm at somewhere near my own goal. I'm going to pass from Renato Sanchez out to Kyle Walker. I'm going to be triggering a run with Lucas Moura, even though he's on getting behind. He's probably already starting to make his run, but that just directs him even more. Hit the LB or L1 button and point it at Lucas Moura. Let him make the run. I'm going to do that ball up the wing with Kyle Walker to Lucas Moura, or same thing on the other side from Ferland Mendy up to Heung-min Son. And then my opponent is then stretched out. So we've got Lucas Moura making a run, Heung-min Son making a run, Neymar and Mbappe are making runs. So we've got this group of attacking four. And my opponent maybe has their back four back. Maybe Lucas Moura or Heung-min Son's already gotten around their fullback. And then we've just unlocked all this space. Then we'll talk about my CDM here. We want one CDM that can get involved in attack. And you can see here I've got Renato Sanchez on balance, cover center, or default, and then cover center. So then as we're making the runs up, then Renato Sanchez is going to come up and act kind of like as a cam. He's got high work rate, so he's going to get involved a little bit, and not necessarily to bang in a lot of goals. That position for me doesn't bang in a lot of goals, but this position right here gets a ton of assists for me. So again, just to give you another attacking scenario, or just a quick transition scenario, Renato Sanchez wins the ball back, pass out to Kyle Walker. We trigger the run up the wing to Lucas Moura, who is already starting to make a run because he's on getting behind. We pass up the wing to Lucas Moura. We've either his fullback, it would be his left back, is marking Lucas Moura, so he's spread out wide, or Lucas Moura has already gotten around him. Then Renato Sanchez by that time is starting to make a run in, so we can pass in either across to Renato Sanchez, or we can pass into an Mbappe, and then we've just got their whole defense and that it only takes a matter of seconds, so it works beautifully. But what I'll also say, you want this just pure CDM, just winning the ball back, only thinks about defense, doesn't care if he gets on the scoring sheet. So that's the perfect player for that is N'Golo Kante. And I have him on cut passing lanes, stay back while attacking, and cover center. So my main defensive forces are going to be Kante, Mendy, Varane, Gomez, and Kyle Walker. So I want them always thinking about defense. And that's where we're going to shut people down. Having the two CDMs and having Renato Sanchez with high work rates. I love high work rates for this position. Medium, I'm not a big fan of. Even high medium can work, but then it seems like they don't get back as quick on defense. Renato Sanchez is like the prototype for this role, can do a little bit of everything. Just does a great job getting back and getting forward, getting back and getting forward. So high work rates work especially well for this position. And, again, like I said, a player like Renato Sanchez ends up getting a lot of assists from that role because they almost end up becoming like a central cam when they get forward a little bit. So this midfield partnership is very important. And I really recommend, let me just talk about players I recommend. I'll show you something like on Kante. And again, they're not going to be in their right position here because this is just for chemistry. But Kante here, just to look at like some of his player details, and you can see there his agility is 82, balance is 92, and I've got a shadow on him. I want to max out pace. Again, pace. And the other thing pace allows you to do is to just make up for any mistakes. If I take Kante out and I'm trying to steal the ball and I miss, having someone with the pace of Kante, it still is not like 99, but it's so adequate pace. He's still going to be able to get back, recover, and get back into the play. But you can see that agility and balance there makes his movement so nice. Look at Renato Sanchez. Solid balance, great physical, with good passing stats. He's able to do a lot of different things. So it makes him, and just let me see here, like Renato Sanchez, you can see I've played 41 games with him so far. 4 goals, 15 assists, so almost a goal contribution every other match. And honestly, and that's from a CDM. That's a pretty good goal contribution from a CDM. 15 assists, 4 goals. Like I said, Renato Sanchez, high work rates, works perfectly in that position. And most of my goals, like I'll just show you my goal share. So someone like Neymar, see that's 75 games, 108 goals, 51 assists. Mbappe, 196 games, 252 goals, 168 assists, and all of that would be either division rivals or weekend league. So most of the scoring is coming from my strikers. Now, let me show you someone like Heung-min Son. Great card, but he's played 156 games with only 45 goals and 37 assists. Now, if he was playing striker, it would be similar. So I'm showing you that to let you know your LM and your RM, your wingers aren't necessarily going to just bang in goal after goal after goal or get on the assist. They're there to unlock that space. They're there to make those runs up the wing, pass back in, be involved, pass to them out to the wing, open up space, but they're not necessarily going to be getting the hat tricks and scoring 4 goals and 2 assists a match. That's going to be your striker. So again, my strikers were Neymar and Mbappe, but let me just go over it one more time to make sure you have it. So 4-4-2, balance, width of 5, depth of 6, on attack, width of 5, players in the box 5, and then instructions, stay central, get in behind, and stay forward on my strikers. My wingers are come back on defense, get in behind. My two-way CDM is balanced, and cover center. My defensive CDM is cut passing lane, stay back while attacking, and cover center. And my entire back line is stay back while attacking. Now, I rarely make any changes to this, but when I do, this is what I do. If I'm trailing by a goal late, or if I'm need to make a comeback, I will put this defensive style on constant pressure. I'm on the wrong one, I'm sorry. Let me change this back over to my attacking. I was on balance. Okay, so what I will do is change this to constant pressure. I will put my depth up on 10. We're going to pressure them. We're going to get up there. And this is when you learn how to play on 6 depth. Then when you put it on 10 depth, you're already adept at kind of keeping your shape even in this frenzied scenario. So even though you're maybe being a little crazier, trying to win the ball back, trying to get that goal, you're a little bit better at it because you've already gotten used to life at 6. Now, if you're someone who plays 1 depth, it's going to be a shock to the system, not only go to 6, but then to go to 10. But this has helped me come back in so many matches when I need to pull out a goal. offensive style, I changed this to fast build up. And again, this may be better. Like I said, I feel like one of my main strengths at the game is passing. If you're not as great at passing, maybe long ball would be better. Fast build up is just this frenzied mess. You've got to really be picking out good passes and looking for stuff. So if you're having any trouble with that, then maybe keep it on balance with the constant pressure, or try long ball. But then I will also change players in the box to like 7 or 8, somewhere in that neighborhood, trying to just get more people out there, just trying to get something. But that's the only change I make. And I occasionally, and it seems like every time I do this, I concede a goal. So a lot of times I don't do this. I do have one defensive formation from a 4-2-3-1, and I put it on drop back on 2 depth. But I swear, every single time I have changed to this 4-2-3-1, I've conceded a goal. And I just feel like maybe I'm too negative. I'm letting people just build up stuff. So I most of the time just stay in this 4-4-2. I may change my depth, maybe like down to 4 or something like that. You know, would put it back on my normal stuff. Just have it like on balance, and then maybe put that on 4. I maybe would put that on possession, just to not have people, you know, going far away from me, because generally if you're leading in a match, your opponent will turn on some type of constant pressure. So I may put that on possession, but generally I just leave it alone, and it seems to work out really well. But just think that seems to work out the best. But anyways, I just wanted to share with you what I think is the best formation, the best custom tactics. I hope these will help you grind out more wins in Weekend League, get to those elite finishes, make it up to Division 1, getting those sweet, sweet ultimate packs. But anyways, boys, this is going to wrap it up for now. Thanks so much for watching, but I will see you guys soon. Bye.